Good morning, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Colton Brunton. I run Brunton Media in Salisbury. Now, there is going to be some audience interaction today. I'm going to keep you, hopefully, get you warmed up. So, has anyone in this room today had a conversation that could either help their business, directly or indirectly, or vice versa with the person you spoke to? Can I get a show of hands? It should be everyone. It's a networking meeting. Good. In the last 24 hours, has anyone listened to the radio, listened to a podcast? Again, show of hands. Good. What about video? Social media? TV?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
It's a little bit boring if it's me. Okay, me. That's a new one. Haven't had that one in a while. Thank you very much. So, everything that I've just discussed is a time for you to either have marketed yourself or be marketed to, right? Now, the start of this talk was the fundamental of marketing. So that bit's done. But it does get a bit more complicated, because how do you then do that, right? So what I discussed there and what I alluded to was either something you tried a lot of time to do, e.g. having lots of conversations, right? So one-to-ones, networking, etc. They're great. You should look to do those too. The reason why content is so powerful, and the reason why I focus a lot of my work on talking about content, is it's the best way to scale what you're doing. And I'll give you some legitimate figures from what myself and David have just done in the last 9 days, leveraging Facebook Reels a little bit later on, right? Which is actually really exciting and a golden opportunity right now that if you wait, it won't exist. And I'll explain why when I get there. But initially, for those who don't know, who do we help? Specifically, we help business owners who are looking to either get into the idea of marketing and understand what it is, but then also know how to scale it. So you might be doing something like this and we can come and capture it for you. You might want to do some testimonial-based pieces with your clients. You also might be in a position where you have some sales terminology that's kind of challenging to understand for your clients. We can help break those down into either usable chunks for social media or larger videos that are either for promotional purposes on your website or to sit there as a little, here's a bit of information to nurture that client for you. So that's more about what we do. But as I said, as I alluded to before, why content specifically? It's a time saver in respect to you invest time once and then you can continue to reuse that content. But also something which we've kind of already alluded to with me, and the reason why I post so much content is it keeps you front of mind, right? So everyone in this room has a specific service or a product that they do, right? What ends up happening is when I need that service or product, the person I last had a touch point with, so whether that's a piece of content, a conversation, a message, a call, etc., these are all touch points. They're going to be, oh yeah, I need to use content for video. Oh yeah, I need to go to this person for this. Oh, I need to go for that. And that's what marketing, when it's done effectively and when it's done in a conjoined way, can actually do for you. Because there's the first stage, which is like, let's get people to the point of trust where they actually want to work with me, right? I would argue half of this room is probably at the point where they're like, cool, Colin, love what you do, probably trust me enough to actually work with me. But do you want to do video yet? Maybe not. So what ends up happening is you've got to get them to that point as quickly as possible so that then you can stay in their peripheral vision. So then when they do need what you offer, yes, I need to talk to that person. Where do you go to your coffee shop in the morning, right? A video that did pretty well last week was a video of me talking about why I go to Sonder and Henderson's, right? It's very simple. They rarely have a queue. The product is good. I know the coffee's going to be good. And they're going to treat me as a human being and they're going to respect my time. And as someone who's very busy, as everyone in this room will be, you know that the time is the thing you actually care about. You don't really mind how much it costs, within reason, of course. But when you've created this content, where do we think the best place is to post it? What do we think? Anyone got any ideas?
Well, people see it.
Okay, where's that then, Spen?
Social media.
Okay. A specific platform, if you could only choose one?
No, I don't know.
What do we think? You got Facebook so far? TikTok? Okay, yeah, okay. So it kind of depends. Firstly, what is the strategy that you want to use? So what is the job of that piece of content? Is it to say, hey, look at me? Or is it actually to do something more valuable, like I'm going to educate you on what I do, right? Now they can kind of do both at the same time, but what's the core reason behind why? Some figures for you, and these are updated as of this morning. Facebook has monthly users of 9 2.9 billion monthly users, okay, on Facebook. To give you some context, current world population is 7.8. YouTube, which has just taken the second spot, is now 2.2 billion. Instagram with 1.4 billion, and our friend TikTok with 1 billion. So there's lots of people looking at lots of stuff on their phones, basically. This is kind of the conversation that I have a lot with traditional marketing agencies around TV commercials, right? Really quickly, if you're watching the telly and the commercials come on, what do you do? Okay, either fast forward, yeah. If it's live telly and you can't fast forward, what do? Go make a cup of tea, okay. There you go. Go put your phone up. So the attention has gone from, let's watch commercials on telly, unless you're at the Super Bowl, by the way. Super Bowl's a very interesting conversation all among itself, because that's when you actually want to watch you will actually watch the commercials on Super Bowl. But that's just a culture-related thing in America. That's not really anything else. And that's the outcropper here. What most people will do, second commercials come on, right, what's on TikTok? What's on Facebook? What's on Instagram? So that's where our attention goes. So would you rather be on the screen that's not been looked at or the screen that's been looked at? But why does video specifically work so well? Why do we think? Moving pictures, yeah? Okay, but you could make the argument that photos have the same as sound. Okay, but I think the last figures, if I'm correct, is about 92% of people watched stuff muted. There's lots of reasons behind that, most of which is social reasons. So people are on their phone right now, which is very rude, by the way, right? They wouldn't want the sound to play out because they were in an environment where they wouldn't want to hear that video play, right? So the real reason we've kind of alluded to a little bit is it's the quickest way to build trust with someone, right? Think about how you would build it outside of content for a minute. We're all business owners, we all have relationships in our lives. How do we build that rapport? Time passed with that person, yes, but what do we do? Engage, yeah. But we had a physical interaction or a digital interaction. So Zoom call is basically a video, right? It's a video call. So I can see, hear you, right? So I'm able to connect with you from a visual point of view, because I can see you, an auditory point of view, because I can hear you, but also I can read your body language, I can really feel, okay, how do I feel about this person? And that's the important bit, because how we make our customer feel is actually what matters, because that's what's going to mean the difference between they make a decision to work with me or work with someone else. Now, do we want to market to everyone, do you think? I've just said there's 7.9 billion people in the world. Do we want to market to all of those? No. Thank you, David. The reason why you don't is because personality-wise, you're not going to connect with them. Also, they might not want what you have to offer as well, right? But this is why you need to understand the fundamentals of what you're going to create content around, and also be okay with the fact if people don't like it. Because if people don't like it, they're not your tribe, they're not your people, right? I get people all the time, some of you watch my content, as I've found out, gulp, right? Thank you, by the way. And I swear in my content, right? And sometimes that's a big deal for people, right? But that's part of my personality. I'm going to swear in person, I'm going to swear in set, so I'm not going to try and change myself, because it will change and it will feel weird, right? If you go from someone who's swearing on video to someone who's slightly more politically correct, perhaps, when in person, it's going to be a bit disingenuous. It's about owning who you are, coming across as your authentic self, and being okay with the fact that you're going to go, don't like that person, but that's cool, because they're not your people. Right? So just focus on those people you can connect with and those people you can help. It's the same with hate comments. Right? One of the main questions I get about content online is, God, what if I get a hate comment? Okay. What if you do get a hate comment? What actually happens to you if you get a hate comment? Well, you look at it, and great, fantastic, thank you very much. Yeah. Nothing actually changes to you personally, right? Your mindset on how you deal with that hate comment is what you need to think about. So think about the person who's made the hate comment. They've gone through their day, they've stumbled upon one of your pieces of content online, and they've gone, I'm going to use this person to shout at because I'm annoyed. Okay, but what does that say about you? Nothing, right? So actually you can then answer in compassion. You can be like, hey, you all right? What's going on, right? Or if it's really bad, just remove it. Just don't give it your attention, right? So much of the time, what marketers want is your attention, right? What every business wants, but especially in the marketing world, we want your attention, right? I have all of your attention now looking at me, right? Most people will be, oh, scary. That's a mindset thing as well. But where it comes from is the fear of judgment of someone else. But when you understand that actually you're only looking to talk to 5-10% of people, of your actual core audience that are actually going to be the ones that purchase from you, you don't really mind if you annoy 10%. You're not really annoying them. They're just like, yeah, Cotton's content's not for me. Fabulous! Go find someone who can serve you better, right? It's they're a better solution, not I'm going to lose for that person, right? But we can't talk about video without talking about short form video, right? Now, where did short form come from? Short form came from the rise of TikTok, which is a interesting algorithmic change because traditionally Instagram, Facebook, etc. were social graphs. E.g., David follows me, so David is going to get shown my content. Fantastic, thank you for following David, right? But TikTok was the one that popularized it. It wasn't the first person to do it, but the one that popularized it was known as an interest graph. So it's taken from a social graph to an interest graph. Now, an interest graph is, I like cats, so I'm going to be showing cats. Fantastic. People say to me all the time, Colin, I don't know what's on my TikTok. Okay, manually search something that you want to see on your TikTok, watch 3 or 4 videos in full, close the app, reopen it. You'll be scared by how your algorithm changes. Now, this caused a very interesting reality to happen for all of the other players in this industry. So the YouTubes of the world, the Facebooks of the world, the Instagrams of the world. Because they went, we were the kings for a long time, and this, not going to get into the politics, Chinese company, has just taken all our attention. Potentially all our data as well, but that's a separate conversation entirely. That's a problem when you're the advertising kings of the world, Google, Meta, for example. What do? Well, we could do that. Oh, I know what we'll do. Copy, paste. Thanks. This is what they did. This is where the advent of YouTube Shorts came in. This is where Facebook Reels came in. This is where Instagram Reels came in. This is where any other form of vertical video that fits in a phone comes in. As some of you may know, myself and David have just launched a new business as of 9 days ago. The reason why it's relevant to this conversation is the figures I'm about to explain. The strategy we use for that is something that I've also emulated on Brunton Media, and that's probably why you've probably seen it, and you'll understand really why you've probably seen it in a moment. These figures are as of this morning in regards to the last 28 days. For the second business, it's only 9 days because it didn't exist for 28 days. Monthly reach on people for Brunton Media at the moment is just under 17,000 people as of right now. And I'm not posting any more content today. I haven't posted anything on Brunton Media today, right? So I'm hitting 17,000 different people, and the post interaction on that is about 50%. So about 50% of that are actually interacting with it. But in regards to people who are seeing me and my content in the last 28 days, it's 17,000. Now, something I'm quite proud of is the fact that in 8 days, on the second business, we've got 7,500 people. The reason why we've got that is because of a very simple supply and demand curve when it comes to content. At the moment on Facebook, there is a huge amount of attention being poured into short form video because of the rise of TikTok, because of the rise of YouTube Shorts, etc. But there isn't enough content being created in the short form principle. So, when you have a scenario like this, there is a massive opportunity, and this is what I'm saying, if you wait 6 months, it won't exist. What happens here is, if you're the person filling the feed, creating content for the feed, and this could be literally something you all do after this, pick up your phone, talk about what you do for 1 minute, and put it as a Facebook reel, right? You don't have to do it professionally, just create it as a reel, so it goes into the reel algorithm. Do that consistently, so we're posting 3 times a day at the moment, do that consistently, and it will build up, it will ramp up. What people normally get disheartened by is they start it, they do one and go, it didn't work. But the problem is, that never worked anyway. Doing one thing once never worked. Most of the people in the room have been to, how many networking events would you say across your career? Thousands, right? So you're not going to gauge whether networking works on one, are you? You're not going to go, oh, I've been to one, oh, networking can't work. Same with content. We're not in 2012 anymore. 2012 traditionally was, you can do a promotional video and it prints your money, quite literally, because it was the new shiny thing. What I'm telling you right now is short form is the new shiny promotional video. But you have to think about it in a short form way, not this is a one channel, sits on the website, does the job you need to do. This is we're going to dominate the attention through volume and what you say more than it looks shiny. Look shiny is important if you sell it like I do, right? If you don't sell it, it doesn't matter. And actually, I'm having to fight the algorithm in some respects because I professionally edit and produce all my own content. If you actually look into the details of the algorithm, when you can, TikTok and Instagram prefer you to create in-app edited videos, which means you've created it on your phone, you've edited it inside the app itself, and then you posted it. There is an actual algorithm knock-on effect to doing that. So you can actually outpace me. Because I don't do that. I post-edit it, take the file onto my phone and directly post it into the platform. So I'm not actually doing any editing in the app. So all the app's going to see is a video has come from his camera roll into the app. I'm not going to get penalized for doing that, but I'm not going to get the boost. What I'm talking to you about is how to get the boost by using your phone. There's lots of other things like how well do you talk, how well do you come across, where are you looking, etc., which we can go into detail, but not really in this presentation. They're all fluff and they're all how to make it better. At the end of the day, what you say and the value that you add to your clients, which is what you need to think about when you're creating content, is what makes the actual value difference to the market. And when you articulate it, think about it as I'm telling an alien, a 5-year-old, or my best friend who has no idea what I do. So no jargon, nothing complicated. And this is a really good exercise if you want to get started in video, because I know a couple of you are like terrified with the idea. Just start by creating 5 videos that you're not going to do anything with, outside of you're going to create them. You don't have to talk about anything related to business, you don't have to talk about anything at all. All you have to do is just talk to a camera. That's the only objective for those 5, right? Which is, hello, my day was this, I did this, I had this for breakfast, the sun was out today, it's great, fantastic, there's number 1 done, right? Same again the following day, same again the following day, same again the following day. Do that for 5 to 10, see how you feel. Then think, okay, what key takeaway, what key thing happened in my business today that if I was telling my best friend, they would see value in? Now, this is the thing about value, right? It's subjective, so take it with a grain of salt. But when you start creating content, you just have to put stuff out there to see what happens, right? Because you've got no data. Then you can see what works. Because once you've got the data, you can then start analysing the data and go, right, what does my audience care about? Oh, this one got 4,000 views, this one got 4. Okay, what is it about the 4,000 view video that is important, right? What is it about that video that's different than the one that got 4? Is it how I came across? Is it what I talked about? Okay, then test it. So do another video on the same topic, see how it does, etc. Right? And the final thing I'll say on pain point specifically, because that's what I'm talking about here, actually ask your client. You want to know what to create? Use a networking meeting, use one-to-ones, use conversations you'll have with your colleagues to say, well, what's our issues? If you have a larger sales team, ask what your customers have issues with, and then create the solutions through content. Because then that positions you as the expert, and then you'll be front of mind, then I've built credibility, then I've built trust with you, and then when I need whatever it is that you're going to sell me, I'm more likely to go, yes! Because sales is only hard when your marketing sucks. I'll be honest, it is. If your marketing's good, you don't really have to do much selling, because you've made all the promises, and then you followed through with the results, as in they can physically see it. So the conversation is just, how do we do this for you, right? So short form kind of leans into the attention span of a human, right? Because it's short. But what do we think the attention span actually is, the average attention span, in seconds? What do we think?
30.
4. Well, not quite 4. Okay. To give you some context, a goldfish is 9.
So it's smarter or dumber?
In 2000, it was 12 seconds. The US study found, where I got these figures from. I checked this morning, so I'm going to update the Q card. The Q card says 2015. It's the same at the moment, 8.2. So we're just stupider than a goldfish. Sorry, guys. Getting outpaced by a goldfish. So I'm going to leave you with something which comes from investing, but is actually really important when you do content. And it's the reason why I got the numbers and we got the numbers with the second business that we did. And that's why I'm saying if you're consistent, it will compound. The art of compounding works if you work for an entire calendar year, so a year from today, and you make 1% improvement a day, you'll be 37 times better than you were today next year. Thank you very much for listening.